So for over a century, we've been stuck with the same basic methods of building, until now. Epik Walls are finally revolutionizing the way we build. This revolution will lead to buildings that are built faster, stronger, longer lasting, fireproof, pest resistant, more energy efficient, free of harmful chemicals or fibers, and has waste that is completely recyclable and are affordable. Okay, so this is an animated cross-section view of the patented Epik Wall system. As you can see, the walls are comprised of structural steel studs embedded into high-density EPS foam. Because the studs are embedded into the foam, there's this 2-inch layer of continuous foam on the exterior side. An elastomeric finish can attach directly to the foam, creating a chemical bond with the foam that prevents warping or cracking. On the interior, there is a 2-inch gap from the foam to the drywall, allowing room for electrical wiring to run vertical in the wall cavity and horizontally along a channel that's cut into the foam. There are knockouts in the studs that allow the wiring to run through the studs. RadiaSource radiant barrier is then also added to the wall system for additional insulated properties. When we receive a set of plans, the walls will be cut to fit according to the plan. The walls are made in a controlled environment, so they're not exposed to the elements during the process. The foam and steel create an extremely straight and level wall. You don't have to worry about warping or cracking with this wall system. There are several advantages for contractors that use the Epik Wall system. The engineering is easy. It's simply engineered for structural steel studs. There's no need to deal with complications in the engineering. Because they are structural steel studs and foam, they already meet all ICC requirements. There is no issue with passing code. The on-site construction time is reduced since the walls are insulated at the same time they are framed. Interior work is simplified because the knockouts in the steel provide the holes necessary for running the wiring. The walls are light and do not require any heavy equipment or cranes to get the walls up. Finally, there aren't piles of lumber and OSB that can be stolen from the job site. You won't have the piles of waste following the job either. Here you can see the wall being lifted by one man. The walls go up quick and easy as stated earlier. For the consumer, these walls are more cost-effective than other panelized wall systems or insulated concrete forms. There is simply no better system for the price. The customer will get in their home sooner with reduced build time. They will have a home that is more energy efficient. The walls are more environmentally friendly, and they are stronger, healthier, and longer lasting. So let's take a look at each of these points individually. First, let's take a look at cost. As mentioned, there are time savings with this system that reduce labor costs. No heavy machinery to rent or operate. These walls are actually less expensive than traditionally framed wood walls of an equal insulated value. The biggest savings are found in the energy efficiency, which will allow these walls to pay for themselves over and over again. In areas where termites are a concern, Epik Walls provide a permanent solution against insect infestation. Finally, the walls are made of materials that won't rot, warp, or crack, making maintenance worry-free. They say records are made to be broken, but that really stinks when it comes to energy prices. Now that energy prices are at an all-time high, customers are looking for solutions. Epik Walls create an incredibly efficient home by eliminating all 3 forms of energy transfer. So there are 3 ways that heat moves in and out of buildings: conduction, the movement of heat by touch; convection, the movement of heat by airflow; and if it isn't moving by touch or airflow, it's radiant heat. R value is a measurement of how well a material resists heat transfer through conduction. Because of the high R value of foam, Epik Walls achieves R values well above code, giving high levels of protection against conductive heat transfer. The high R value is made even more effective because of the 2-inch continuous layer of foam on the exterior. This prevents thermal bridging through the studs. Heat bridges in and out through the wall studs, killing a building's efficiency. Finally, by adding RadiaSource radiant barrier, a reflective airspace is created which adds even more R value to the system. Okay, here's a look at the 2012 IECC codes. that show the requirement for continuous insulation on commercial buildings. Instead of framing, insulating, then adding continuous insulation, Epik walls are finished in one step. Time efficient as well as energy efficient. For areas adopting these new codes, Epik walls are a huge advantage to both architects and contractors. Since air is not a conductor, it has an R value. However, as you can see, when an air gap is reflective with a radiant barrier, the R value jumps, improving the efficiency of the system. When we factor in the reflective airspace, a 2x4 Epik wall achieves an amazing R25. The 2x6 wall achieves an R35. Some wall systems are claiming R values in the range of 50 to 60. This chart was organized by Holt Architects. Multiple studies have been done showing the same thing. When it comes to achieving protection from conduction, R value is not linear. There's a significant drop-off in protection once you hit an R25. As this chart shows, by an R25, you've achieved 96% of possible protection from conductive heat transfer. Over that mark, consumers are paying for an additional 1 to 3% of protection. With Epik walls, customers get high efficiency without paying for overkill. The walls are linked together with a tongue and groove system that prevents any air leakage. With Epik walls, no one needs to worry about having drafts coming through their walls anymore. As mentioned earlier, RadiaSource is also included in every wall, eliminating 95% of any radiant heat transfer. The environment is of growing concern in the global community. Epik walls helps reduce environmental impact in the building industry, reduce deforestation, eliminating construction waste, and cutting greenhouse gas emissions by reducing building energy use are ways that Epik walls can create a cleaner environment for our children and grandchildren. One of the biggest drawbacks about some of the current alternative wall systems is the engineering. Epik walls are simply engineered for structural steel studs, which is based on standard IBC and AISI codes. There are no concerns about finding the right engineer or a building not passing code. In fact, use of structural steel studs will increase the strength of your building. It has superior racking resistance and high transverse and axial load capacities. The walls are also dimensionally stable. There's no rotting, warping, shrinking, cracking, or splitting to worry about. Studies have shown inhaling the fibers in fiberglass can reduce lung function and cause inflammation in animals and humans. And spray foam off-gassing can last for an extended period, causing headache, eye, nose, throat, and upper airway irritation. Epik walls have no harmful fibers or off-gassing, making your building a healthier one. When protected from UV rays, the degradation of EPS foam equates to a diminutive 0.05%. That's not 5%, it's 0.05% over 100 years. In other words, it will not degrade. That's not good for landfills, but great for a building that you want to last. Likewise, the galvanized steel has an estimated 650-year average lifespan, which will probably outlive most people. There's also a Class 1, Class A fire rating on the materials. The flame spread of the foam is 20. The flame spread of the steel is 0. This type of protection against fire is difficult and expensive to try to achieve with wood framing. One of the greatest things about Epik walls is that they can be used below grade as foundation wall panels. The high-density foam creates a tight seal for your basement. The foam density in our foundation walls is higher than the foam used under freeways and parking lots. And because the foam and steel are more flexible than concrete, settling won't crack the walls as easily as it does in concrete foundation walls, keeping your watertight seal. Also, because Epik walls are so well insulated, you can say goodbye to cold cement walls forever. While stucco is the most common, as you can see, there is no limit to the exterior finishes that can be used with the Epik wall system. Unlike other alternative wall systems, there is no need to adjust the plans or the architecture of your building to accommodate these walls. As you can see, for commercial curtain wall installations, Epik walls are a cinch. The walls are simply bolted down into place. The nice thing is that once they are in place, They are framed and insulated in one easy step. Framing, insulating, and adding the continuous insulation layer is done in one step instead of 3. Consolidating that effort saves you time and saves you money. A great advantage of using Epik Walls for residential projects is that there are no limits to the style or architecture of your home. Create your plans however you like, and the walls will be cut to your specifications. For commercial projects, the speed and efficiency of construction make things more cost-effective, creating a strong competitive advantage. So as you can see, the Epik Wall system is superior to any other alternative wall system on the market. Epik Walls are finally revolutionizing the way we build. This revolution is leading to buildings that are built faster, stronger, that are longer lasting, more fire resistant, pest resistant, more energy efficient, free of harmful chemicals or fibers, and have a waste that is completely recyclable. And oh, by the way, are affordable. To learn how you can be part of this epic revolution, please click the button below, and you'll receive information gathered from independent studies showing the remarkable results of this patented system.